Hi, I've had some requests recently for some upper body strengthening exercises, particularly from new parents who have worked out that parenting is all about carrying and caring for a newborn, which is all upper body strength. But this is probably also good for anybody just wanting to improve their upper body strength or is trying to get over an injury and to get back. So, I think that the best way to do upper body strength is with weights to start off with. The really good thing about weights is that they actually can target like single muscles. The problem with yoga poses, and I love yoga poses, you all know that I love yoga poses. The problem with yoga poses is that they use more of a whole body approach. And if a section of that body is not working correctly, then there's a chance that you're overloading another section of the body. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to start off with weights and then we're going to move into yoga poses so that we're strengthening the individual muscles and then we're putting them into a whole body approach like a plank pose and other poses that we will be doing. But before we get to actually strengthening up the upper body, what we want to really look at is the movement and the function of the body. So, if we divide the body into an upper body and a lower body, our lower body is predominantly about strength. The lower body carries our body, it supports our body, and it's really responsible for supporting the body. The upper body is about range of movement. So it's all of the reaching, the lifting, all of that kind of stuff. The upper body does a lot less. We do some carrying, absolutely, but it does a lot less of the strength activities and more of the range of movement activities. So let's say that we don't have the proper range of movement in the upper body. Let's, for argument's sake, say that a shoulder has fallen forward like this. I'll go side on so that you have a better idea. And then we decide to start strengthening in that position. We're going to be putting extra load on the part of the body. Let's say the shoulders are falling forward and then we're going up to the side. I can get to about there with my shoulders crammed forward and I can't get any further. To get any further, I'm having to put a lot of strain in my neck, right? So before, it's really tempting to want to grab some weights and to really build the upper body. But before we build the upper body, what we need to think of is range of movement, range of motion, and having the joints working correctly so that when we strengthen them, we're strengthening them in the right positions and with the right movements, and we're loading the joints correctly. So, just a really, really quick lesson on how your body works. When we take our arms from down to the side to horizontal to the ground, doesn't matter which way you do it, horizontal to the ground, that is all what you would think of as your shoulder joint. So we call it the glenohumeral joint, the ball and socket. The arm is literally coming up here. After the arm gets to shoulder height or parallel to the ground, the next part of the movement is actually shoulder blades. So the shoulder blades, if we're coming out to the side, are swinging out and up. Okay, so from here to here, shoulder joint, from here up, mostly shoulder blade movement. If we don't move the shoulder blades and we get to here and we just try and move still at the joint, what we end up is squashing in through these bony structures in here. In order for the shoulder blades to move, what we need is nice inline ribs and we need that beautiful gliding movement because the shoulder blades, in fact, the whole shoulder girdle is only through bones attached at the front here. At the back, it's completely floating over the ribs and over the rest of the skeleton. So we want beautiful movement through those shoulder blades. The best way to keep the shoulder blades moving is actually to work with these shoulder rolls. So I know this seems really simple and really basic, and you're probably thinking, I want to strengthen my arms and I want to skip this. But really, if you can get that beautiful movement, you will strengthen your arms so much faster and you're less likely to end up with an injury. So what we're going to do, I call these swimming movements. So this would be like a survival backstroke. Then we're going to bring both shoulders forwards for a butterfly pose. Then we're going to take one shoulder back and the other shoulder back for a backstroke. And then we're going to bring one shoulder forward and the other shoulder forward for a freestyle. And ideally, as you're doing these movements, you're not just moving your shoulders, but you're getting a little bit of movement into the spine as well. Beautiful. So how often should you do this? I do it a couple of times a day, maybe 3 times a day. And how long should you do each of them for? That's up to you. So I would start with, say, back, and my shoulders love back. This feels really nice. When you find that your brain is no longer concentrating on what you're doing, or if you find that you're coming around in a circle and you can't really feel anything, like it felt like it was releasing for the first couple and then after that not a huge amount, then you would move on to the front. So front, this is where I find the most difficult. So this coming forward through the front bit. So I would probably spend a little bit of extra time on the front. But again, once you get to the point where you sort of thoroughly loosened that up, your brain will start to wander. You'll start to look somewhere else or think about what the next thing you're going to be doing, or you'll just kind of start not really moving the shoulders and sort of half moving them. Yep. Same thing. If you go with how many you feel that your body needs, it may mean that you're moving a lot more in one direction than another direction. But again, that's kind of what your body needs. All right, so coming back into the center. The next exercise that we're going to do for range of movement is we're going to pop the elbows in towards the sides. We're going to pop the hands up towards the ceiling, and we're going to take the hands back and squeeze the shoulder blades together. So if you're new to this and you find this quite difficult because this uses a bit of flexibility and a little bit of strength through the shoulders, you may just want to stay here. Yep. If you feel that you can go a little bit further with this movement, take your arms out to the side, drop your thumbs down towards the ground, and pull your chin in as though you're trying to make a double chin. So release, come back to the center, out to the side, drop the thumbs, pull the chin in. Yep. The more you can squeeze those shoulder blades together, the more strength you're using. So it's a really good idea to stretch open the chest, but we also want to strengthen those muscles to actually hold the chest in an open position. Beautiful. All right, release. Just give yourselves a little bit of a shake and a move. The next one we're going to do is we're going to take the arms all the way up overhead. So go nice and slowly. If you're getting cracking or grating, or sometimes it feels like cotton wool in your shoulder joint or a little bit of crepitus, I want you to stop. I want you to go to where you feel you can go. And then maybe you've got a good arm. You could probably bring that one up and then just bring the other one down. Don't push through the clicking grating. What's going to happen is if you're pushing through the clicking grating, you're going to move somewhere else that you shouldn't be moving somewhere else. and we're not going to get any further. If you go just up to where you're capable of going, what will then happen is that over time will slowly release, and then we'll slowly get all the way up. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in, take the arms up shoulder height, then turn the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling. See if you can keep the shoulders down away from the ears as you come all the way up overhead. Coming back down, turn the palms down, then back into the center. So up to shoulder height, hands up and overhead, down, hands down and down. Yep. Beautiful. Good. All right, the next one we're going to do is an opening of the chest. So for this one, I'm going to get you to find yourself a wall, and I call this cactus arms. So, I look like one of those giant saguaro cactuses. You're going to take one cactus arm, pop your hand and your elbow onto the wall like this, and then just gently turn your body and your feet away as much as you can. Yep. If you've got a corner of a room or a door frame, I don't have a good corner to show you, but you can imagine I'm in the corner. You could actually do both cactus arms at once and lean all the way through. Again, the idea is just to open up the chest. So for this one, I'd probably stay for, 30 seconds, 1 minute. It's completely up to you. Just really until you can feel really decent stretch through the front of the chest. Beautiful. All right, so releasing the arms, give your shoulders a good wiggle and a move. The next thing I'm going to get you to do is just pop your arms down beside your body, turn your palm face up, and turn your head away from your hand. And then releasing, coming back into the center. Turn the other palm up, turn the head away from the hand, and back into the center. Away and in and away and in. We can't just do range of movement through the shoulders without looking up into the neck as well. Beautiful. All right, very last one for range of motion of the shoulders. Because the shoulders sit onto the ribs and onto the upper or thoracic spine, we're going to swing from side to side to come into a really gentle helicopter or twisting position. You can get a little bit bigger with your arms, so up around your waist, up around your shoulders, up towards the corners of the room, back down around the shoulders, back down around the waist, and all the way back into the center. Beautiful. So again, if any of those hurt through the shoulders, you may find that you need to skip it for a little bit and then come back to it later as we start to open up the shoulders. So I think most of you should be right with the first one. So if that's all that you can manage to start off with, just start off with that one. As you get those shoulders moving, you'll soon be able to move into some of these more difficult ones. All right, we're just going to go through them all once again. Just really quickly, a little bit of revision. So it is survival, backstroke, butterfly, backstroke, freestyle, and into the center. Hands into the body, coming back, tipping the thumbs down, pulling the chin in towards the chest, and releasing. Chin in towards the chest, and releasing. Chin in towards the chest, and releasing. Beautiful. All right, from here we're going to take a cactus arms, pop the cactus arms onto the wall, stretching away. And changing over, other cactus arm onto the wall, and stretching away. Beautiful, releasing the arms. From here, breathing in, palms up overhead, back to horizontal, palms down and into the center. Last one. Good, and then turning the hand up, stretching the head away and relaxing. Hand up, stretching the head away and relaxing. Let's just do one more on each side. And again, you can do as many of these as you need to. And then twisting through the spine lastly. If you have any doubts, go a little bit less and more frequently. Give your body a chance to rest in between. And then slowly build up. When you can do all of these ones and feel like you have really good range of movement, then we'll move up to some strength building exercises through the body. Beautiful. And settling back into the center. Well done. Good luck.